Still in quarantine, I'm Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb. Everyone talks about the November election, but there's also an election coming up in August. And Bob, what will that tell us about the state of the Republican Party in Arizona?
Well, the Republicans got a pretty good shaking up in the 2018 election. After being shut out for a decade, the Democrats succeeded in winning a couple of statewide races. And since then, they have substantially reduced the registration advantage that Republicans have. Republicans aren't looking too good going into this general election. And this primary election offers a couple of illustrations. The Republicans weren't even able to qualify a full field for the 3 corporation commission seats that are up. And the Republicans have 2 knockdown, drag-out primary fights occurring, one of which is in a key swing district that might be the key to the Democrats taking over control of the state Senate for the first time in nearly 3 decades.
Is the worry that well, I guess it's always the worry in a primary, that which candidate is most appetizing to that middle voter in the general?
That's really in the district that I'm talking about, which is Legislative District 6 up in northern and eastern Arizona. There's really not that much ideological difference between the 2 candidates. You have incumbent Sylvia Allen, who's being challenged by perennial candidate Wendy Rogers, who this time around has a ton of money to spend in a state legislative race. It's just that even though we've moved the Arizona primary sooner, whichever party has a tough contested primary just doesn't have that much time to recoup and get ready for the general election. And even though this ought to be safe Republican territory, Republicans have over a 10,000 vote registration advantage in the district. Sylvia Allen barely hung on to the seat in 2018. And her challenger this year, Felicia French, came within 600 votes of winning a House seat last time. So she's a substantial candidate. So it's less the choice from an ideological perspective, and it's just the fact of having the fight in a district that the Democrats are looking to pick up.
It appears Martha McSally, from all prognosticators, seems to be safe to go ahead to the general, but you're going to watch that Daniel McCarthy race and how he does. What will that tell us if he does well?
Well, I think because McCarthy hasn't raised much money and he's been a little eccentric to the extent that he's gotten any public attention, his vote, I think, can be interpreted as a protest vote against McSally. And McSally lost a disproportionate number of Republican voters in the 2018 election. You would expect some kind of leakage. An unknown challenger in a gubernatorial primary against Bruce Babbitt, who happened to have died during the campaign, nevertheless got 15% of the vote against Babbitt. But if McCarthy's vote gets in the 25% range or higher, I think that suggests that McSally has additional work to do in order to keep the Republican vote behind her on what appears to be a steeply uphill battle that she has in the general election against Mark Kelly.